Chapter 24. The chapter about craving. Similes about craving. In the time of the Buddha Kassapa, one Kapila went forth and was renowned as a great teacher, but would pronounce other monks wrong even when they were right, just to disparage them. At the time of our Lord Buddha, he was reborn as a fish with foul breath. He was caught and brought to the Buddha, who explained his fate and then spoke these verses. 334. For a human whose lives live heedlessly, craving increases like clinging creeper. He rushes from one place to another like a monkey desiring forest fruit. 335. That one who is overcome by these low cravings and attachments in the world. For him griefs increase like grass that has had heavy rain. 336. Whoever overcomes craving in the world, which is difficult to get past, griefs fall from him like drops of water from a lotus. 337. This I say to you, good luck to as many as have assembled. Dig up the root of craving, like one seeking the root digs up grass. Do not let Mara push you down, like a stream pushes down the reed. Cutting out craving. One day the Buddha saw a sow and smiled. When Venerable Ānanda asked him the reason for his smile, he told of the various forms of existence that the soul had been through, including being reborn in the Brahma worlds, in the life before this one. He then taught the monastics on the evils of craving with these verses. 338. Just as when the root remains untroubled, though the tree was cut down, it grows again. So when craving is not rooted out, this suffering appears again and again. 339. He in whom the 36 streams flow pleasantly and strong, the one with wrong view is carried away by his passionate intentions. 340. Streams are flowing everywhere. The creepers remain where they grow. Seeing this, cut the creeper's root that has arisen with wisdom. 341. There are flowing streams of affection and mental happiness for a person. Pleasure dependent, they seek happiness. Those people undergo birth and old age. 342. People surrounded by craving crawl round like a hare in a trap, attached and clinging to fetters. They come back again and again, to suffering for a long time. 343. People surrounded by craving crawl round like a hare in a trap. Therefore, he should remove craving, the monk who longs for dispassion. Running away from freedom. A young monk who had high concentration attainments was enchanted by golden objects and decided to leave the monastic life. Unable to find work, he became a thief and was caught and sentenced to death. On his way to the execution ground, he attained the 4th jhana. The Buddha appeared to him and taught him with this verse, and he became an arhat and escaped his punishment. 344. The one who is free from desires, who is intent on the forest, though free, runs back to the forest. Come here and look at that person. Though free, he runs back to bondage. The real bondage. Some monks, while on alms round, saw various criminals in the prison house, where they were bound with ropes and chains. They reported it to the Buddha, who explained that these bonds are paltry compared to the bonds of craving, and he taught them further with these verses. 345, 346. That bondage is not so strong, say the wise. That is made of iron or wood or reeds. Impassioned and excited, they seek out jewels and earrings and children and wives. That bondage is really strong, say the wise. Dragging down the legs, hard to get free from. Having cut this down, they wander about, seeking nothing, abandoning pleasure. The wise abandon suffering. Queen Khema, who was married to King Bimbisara, was so intoxicated with her own beauty she would not visit the Buddha. But eventually, she was persuaded into his presence by praise of the bamboo grove where he was residing. The Buddha caused the image of a beautiful woman to go through the stages of decay in front of her, and then he taught her with this verse, upon hearing which she became an arhat. 347. Those who are impassioned follow the stream like a spider, a web made by itself. Having cut this away, the wise proceed, seeking nothing, abandoning suffering. The attractive makes the bond firm. The merchant's son, Ukasena, fell in love with an acrobat whom he saw performing. But her father would only give her to him if he joined them, which he readily agreed to do. Later he learned acrobatics himself and performed in Rajagaha. This is the teaching the Buddha gave him, by which he became an arhat. 348. Be free of the past, future, and present, after crossing over all existence. With mind liberated in every way, you will not return to birth and old age. Cutting Mara's bonds. When Venerable Kula Danugaha obtained water from the house of a young maiden, she soon started giving him porridge also, and striking up a conversation, and eventually he began to feel discontent. When the Buddha heard of the situation, he described how this woman murdered him at the drop of a hat in a previous existence, and further gave him this teaching. 349. For a person who is crushed by his thoughts and pierced by passion, contemplating the attractive, craving increases. This surely makes the bond more firm. 350. Whoever delights in calming of thoughts, who cultivates what is unattractive, will surely abolish all this craving. He will then cut off the bond of Mara. In the final body. One night, because of the arrival of several great elders, Venerable Rahula, who was 8 years old at the time, gave up his room and slept near the Buddha's kuti. Mara thought to frighten him, and took the form of a great elephant and trumpeted near him. The Buddha explained with these verses that Venerable Rahula was an arhat and was therefore unafraid. 351. Having gone to the end without trembling, craving, impurity, cutting the darts of existence, this one is his final body. 352. Without craving and attachment, skilled in words and explanation, knowing how syllables are arranged, which come before and which after, the one in his final body is said to be of great wisdom. The Buddha has no teacher. After the Buddha had attained awakening and decided to teach, he set out for Varanasi, and on the way came across the Ajivika Upāsikā, who expressed his admiration of the Buddha's appearance and then asked him who his teacher was. This was the Buddha's reply. 353. All-conquering, all-wise am I, undefiled regarding all things. Having given up everything, liberated through craving's end. When having deep knowledge myself, who should I point to as teacher? The Dhamma surpasses all. The gods, led by Sakka, had 4 questions which none of them was able to answer. They therefore went to the Buddha at Jetavana with their questions, and the Buddha told them it was in order to answer these sorts of questions that he strove to attain awakening, and he answered them with this verse. 354. The gift of the Dhamma surpasses other gifts. The taste of the Dhamma surpasses other tastes. The love of the Dhamma surpasses other loves. Craving destructions overcomes all suffering. The fool destroys himself and others. In a previous life, a rich man gave a meal to Upāsikā Buddha, but almost instantly regretted it. Later, out of greed, he also killed his brother's son. When reborn, because of his gift, he was again rich, but because of his evil deed, he was childless, lived as a miser, and was unable to enjoy his riches. When he died, all his wealth went to the king. The Buddha explained the situation with this verse. 355. Riches destroy the stupid one, who does not seek the way beyond. Through his craving, the stupid one destroys both others and himself. Gifts to the free have great fruit. Ankura was a good Brahmin who set up many fireplaces and worshipped the gods for 10,000 years. Yet his position in the heavens was less than Indaka, who gave just 1 spoonful of rice to Venerable Anuruddha. The Buddha explained with these verses that one should give with discrimination, as gifts given to those who are free of defilements yield great fruit. 356. Fields are ruined by grassy weeds. People are ruined by passion. Therefore, there's great fruit for that given to those without passion. 357. Fields are ruined by grassy weeds. People are ruined by hatred. Therefore, there's great fruit for that given to those without hatred. 358. Fields are ruined by grassy weeds. People are ruined by delusion. Therefore, there's great fruit for that given to those without delusion. 359. Fields are ruined by grassy weeds. People are ruined by desire. Therefore, there's great fruit for that given to those without desire.